ReZero, Director's Cut, Season 1, Episode 10. Save us, Puck. This is awkward. Yes, please die. Please. Whoa. You missed the most important one. Did his voice just change? Oh, damn. Even Puck? Not you too, Puck. Damn. It's everyone. It's everyone except for Rem. Shut the hell up, you idiot, nerd. You lack determination and honesty and a backbone and ability and strategic intelligence. Oh no. This is terrible. What? What? No, I don't believe that happened. That happened too quickly and easily. I think we're getting a better idea of what his sloth means. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Okay, yeah, this is what put Subaru to sleep that one time. I don't know... Am I supposed to feel relieved? Like, this doesn't feel great. I mean, I hate Beetlejuice, so that's good. Puck was always such a real one before. Not looking so nice now. I mean, it's playtime sort of over in just so many ways for Subaru. This is one of the earliest times I've ever thought in a show that I want to go back and watch the beginning again, because I'm just questioning everything I saw. I wonder how I'd see it differently now, knowing that it wasn't meant to last and that people actually were seeing what I was seeing. I think I got caught a little bit. Sometimes you just have to like go with it, you know? You take the rules of the game for granted and then you look for what they're building with the rules of the game. There's always going to be a certain minimum level of things you have to just go with. But it turns out that Subaru's main character thing was setting him up for failure, that there actually is exploration in that vehicle. I mean, there were times where Puck was dropping hints, but he always felt like a friend. Then again, I think things like antagonism and meanness and rudeness, they're often a result of something that's being upset. You know, there's like some threat there. If Subaru is irrelevant to Puck and is just an ant, Puck is just going to be himself and play and not give it too much thought or real investment. I don't know, like they had that whole like bro handshake stuff. How does this guy have any fingertips left at this point? Who's slothful now? Who's the slothful one now? What are you, jealous of mortality? Good. I wish it was permanent. Sure, let's talk. Only 3, oof. Yeah, he did that. Yeah, that's a big one. Oh, okay. Good thing you didn't fly off the handle. Glad we kept that response reasonable. Firstly, about the time thing, I was just thinking about this not an hour ago. Counterintuitively, the older I get, even though I have theoretically less time than someone younger than me, I feel like I grow increasingly patient because I have a better understanding of time and the effects of time. When I was a teenager, I remember having this vague feeling like anything over, say, 20 or 25 was adulthood and that was boring and that was the end. And so anything that was worthwhile in my life was going to happen right then and there, which, as you might expect, caused me to be in a huge rush and skip important steps, not work on the foundation as much, which in hindsight, if I had done, not that I really have any regrets, would have gotten me a lot farther towards my dreams than I am now, where I am beyond the age I initially thought was worthless and game over, and am more content than ever. I was thinking about this, and I think about this because I have some younger friends who are like super young. I observe this to a certain extent in their thinking, where they don't quite understand that time relationship, where they're projecting their current state and current problems in a straight line out into the future, as if there will be no additional inputs, etc., etc. I say all that to say, I cannot imagine what that looks like after thousands of years. I feel like that just radically changes your psychology and your decision making. So I'm with Puck on that one at least. Secondly, and probably more relevantly, this is too much. Granted, the criticisms of Subaru have their clear insights. There's a lot he has to learn. I feel like there's something more here because just recognizing that someone is not developed is not sufficient reason for literally everyone to put this much energy into outlining all his individual faults to the minute detail. The way I see it, you sort of have to pick. Either Subaru is a nothing and he's not worth focusing on, or he's something and actually has good qualities and deserves this attention. Whether or not that's from appreciation or from some level of threat, but the threat also is a tacit acknowledgement of one's potential. It feels very deliberate. It's also a little bit confusing because some of those contradict. No, he came back and let her die. He came back to try to save her. Oh, the whale is gluttony. Interesting. This isn't death. This isn't the same. Oof, that's terrible. It's a self-reflection. It's weird. It's weird. It's so weird. It's so uncanny and creepy. I love you, Rem. Please stop sacrificing yourself so quickly. Yeah, that's true. He is tired. Even though he reverted to a past physical body, it took a physical toll on him immediately. How are you supposed to... Okay, hold on a second. How are you supposed to honor one promise without breaking the other? In order to save Leah, you have to go there, presumably, which means you have to break the promise. Or maybe there's another way. Well, that was a different Subaru-kun. He's not okay. This is a mask, an understandable mask. I don't think we've solved it. I don't know. I'll be very impressed if he can... Well, it depends. If he's really truly reflecting on what he did wrong and it means something to him, then even if it's incomplete, it's respectable. I mean, it's respectable that he's still trying at all this, that he's not giving up. So that's just a baseline. I don't think the goal is to suddenly be perfect. I think the goal is to learn incrementally. One of my concerns, though, is that because he has infinite tries, he will lean more heavily on the side of like just figuring out the circumstance and maybe even doubling down on the whole thing of like, well, I can handle any situation. That's been his mental escape. Another concern of mine in this is that I think stress is really good. I think failure at a controlled level is really good. It's sort of how getting exposed to a small amount of bacteria strengthens your immune system, or how exercise wears down your muscles so they're built up stronger. Outside of the physical domain, it's good to encounter new thoughts. Your body, your mind, they're exerting energy. They're looking for something to put that energy towards. But it gets damaging when that crosses a line into chronic stress. So overexerting yourself leads to physical damage. Ruminating in the same negative pattern again and again going nowhere is damaging for you mentally. All of this is really great for Subaru. It's just so much all at once. It risks doing more damage. It's also extra hard. The fact that he is observing Rem, observing him be pathetic, for a lot of people would be an amplifier on the rage. Not only does he have to deal with the realization of his own inadequacy, he has to deal with the realization of other people's realization of his inadequacy. So what's the plan? That actually is admirable. Right, I agree with that. Oh. Okay, I don't think that's it. That's not the one, Subaru. Wow, so much for Amelia. Amelia who? The one thing we just complimented you on, Subaru. There's definitely going to be a penalty for that, though. Rem is giving him a lifeline to help her avoid disappointment. That said, I'm not hating on it, or it's not unsympathetic. I think it depends on how authentic this is. Which it's not authentic. It's just fear. Yeah, after getting freeze blasted and shattered by your animal friend, you can understand the reluctance to go back. Also listening to Beetlejuice again. Ugh. That's kind of exploitative. This is a tough situation for Rem. I think you have to say no. Please, Rem, please live your whole life entertaining my fantasy of escapism. I don't know, it's not as flattering as he might think it is. I think Rem rejects. No, doesn't work that way. As you are too incapable to do anything else, because nobody would ever trust you with a job or responsibility, menial tasks it is for you. Even just on a practical level, assuming he actually can get away with leaving with no consequences, which I highly doubt, there's the issue of, your conscience. They're turning away from your destiny. Again, not totally unsympathetic, but this, I think, is actually one of the more pathetic things I've seen from Subaru. Basically asking Rem, someone who actually really cares about him and sees his potential, the only person being nice to him right now, to be flattered by him asking her to be a tool of his escapism. That whole, like, I'll do anything for you, I'm worthless without you, is not the compliment it sometimes feels like it is. Oh, thank you for choosing me solely because you gave up on the things you actually want, which wasn't me. It has all the charm of finding out your significant other has been getting rejected on Tinder. Like, it's worse than you tried to cheat on me. You tried to cheat on me and couldn't because nobody wanted you. Well, she really has thought this through all the way, and she's even happy thinking about it. When she said she thought about it, she left no stone unturned in this fantasy, waiting for the other shoe to drop. Subaru's like, never mind. Okay, never mind. I changed my mind. It's too much. Subaru backing up against that ledge. Yeah, it's insincere. That's the issue. Right. There's another universe where Subaru decides to give up and explore a different path, and I'm okay with it. It would have to be accompanied by an actual honest insight, not an avoidance. It's what he actually wants. I mean, clearly he wants to solve this problem. He wants to save Amelia. He wants to overcome his obstacles. He doesn't want to be a scrub. He doesn't want everyone to look at him with scorn. I mean, these are directly, like I said, the paths of his destiny. It's not a coincidence that these are coming up. It's very related to what he is. I mean, he is Subaru, where people are people, and they act in the world, and the world is dynamic with you, and so it very directly matches the shape of what you are, though that sometimes can be hard to read. I mean, of course, there are chance encounters, there are flukes, there are strokes of luck, both good and bad, but what we see in patterns are this sort of memory foam-like world that is navigating us and our inputs by wrapping itself and adapting to the form we're currently taking. And so there's no separation, there's no difference. It's not an accident that the challenges we hit up against again and again and again are directly the mirrors of the form we currently are, and therefore contain the things we need to shift or change or grow, and therein lies the destiny. And to come up against that, to explain it as something incontrollable, I mean, beyond being unsatisfying, is giving up your agency and also passing up on the opportunity. Recently, I heard a list of things to ask yourself about your relationship, and I don't remember all of them, but the one that is relevant to this, I think, is, are you truly happy with your partner, or are you just less lonely? I think there's something like that here. It wouldn't be him liking Rem. It would sort of be him using Rem. That's really big of her. That's going to be difficult. Wow, she even understands that without understanding. What the heck was that? Oh, it's kind of infuriating because there's not enough time. And there's not a lot of answers. Yeah, here's a point. He's not doing this lightly. It's not for nothing. But she doesn't know that, and it's not no reason to take it out on her. This is his self-rage, self-hatred. It's also him trying to cope. He's trying to convince himself there's something he can do so he doesn't have to try anything anymore because it's painful. I'm not fully convinced that he thinks there's something he can do. It just reads like fear. Damn, Rem's got some balls. She really is a good person for him. She really cares about him. So much so she's willing to risk offending him. And not in that way of like, huh, told you so, idiot, nerd, stupid, doesn't even know how to negotiate, nerd. But like that no ulterior motive, no holier than thou, no gloating, just real tough honesty because she cares about him. And Subaru knows that too. There's a heroic person in Subaru somewhere. He's just underdeveloped. This is threatening. Yeah, this actually is a great place to start. That's not productive. Oh, this is actually really nice. This is another breakdown, like a real breakdown. I mean, it looks like you're pretty ashamed right now. This feels like it's on the healthy curve of learning. Things look easy until you try them, then you realize how deep they go and how little you know. And that's when you actually start to build up. Subaru's going through that fairly standard cycle in the most dramatic, insane way possible. What did you do? What did you do, Subaru? Makes sense. This does hurt. It's my choice, in a sense. It's very slothful. Yet, yeah, a lot of people saw it. Honestly, I think they're jerks, even if they're right. But this came up with someone close to me recently in two separate conversations over the span of a couple days. In the first instance, they were saying they were going to take a drawing class to see if they had any talent. Shortly thereafter, they were talking about their stock investments that were not going well and said something like, I guess it turns out I don't have any skill at stocks after all. And the second time I caught it, I'm like, hold on a second. It's not that you have skill or don't have skill. Both of those things are things that you learn. I think I caught it the second time because I'm into stocks, not into drawing. But like from my perspective, having been into stocks for a while, like of course you messed up up the first time. A lot of the things of greatest value are not necessarily things you're just born with, and I don't even think you want them to be. They're things that you develop. There is something to be said for natural talent, but it's not a binary you're good at this or you're not good at this. You have to learn stuff. It's like me picking up a guitar for the first time and not being able to play Stairway to Heaven and being like, oh, I guess I don't have any guitar talent after all. It's like, well, you haven't like even gotten to the stage where you find out if you have talent. Like, even if you're really talented at guitar, you're gonna have to learn the chords. There's definitely gonna be some work or some pain in there somewhere. And I think the same is probably true of character. It's not that he just sucks, you know, and that's Subaru, the end. He sucks until he realizes he sucks, and then he can start to build his character, which like is what this would be if he could, you know, get his footing. I mean, there also was an extended period of my time where I was doing nothing. And then I started to become aware of the fact that I was doing nothing, became unsatisfied with the fact that I was doing nothing, and I started to do stuff, and that scaled over time. This is true, yeah. And if you catch it here and figure it out, then it wasn't wasteful. This actually, I think, is his real gift. It's not even like trying. It's that, well, it is trying. This is also effort. As long as you don't get too self-indulgent with it. As long as you actually keep going. That's understandable, but not productive. And it's not the answer. Forgive yourself for your mistakes and then move forward. Do you really love your partner, or are you just lonely? People read his eyes so well, it's kind of invasive. Okay, can we get away from the physical? Maybe. You call my fingers slender? This doesn't exactly match. I mean, he's talking about his character. He's talking about like, oh, she's hot for his body. You touch my lips when I'm sleeping? I think you just confessed. Just told on yourself. Are you even listening? You're talking about your physical appearance, dude. Uh-oh. I don't know. I don't know. I have such mixed feelings about all this. That is true. All this is true, and he does have great qualities. They're in there. This is all really deep and really heartfelt and really nice. There's like a red flag going off in my mind that it's the same sort of obsessiveness, that it's this categorical, you are my fantasy and not you, and I'm attached to this fantasy now and will not update, and you can do no wrong, and I'm not even seeing you. And also I touch your lips when you sleep, which is kind of disturbing. Though it can be all those things simultaneously in different degrees. It's nice. You know what? We'll take it. We'll take a little warmth right now, because everyone's been beating up on us relentlessly at every opportunity. I guess it's up to Subaru how he interprets this and what he does with it. Yeah, take a break, I guess. Take a little physical affection. Or does it make you feel empty? I don't know. It's so weird. Okay, seems to be helping. Maybe there's a way we can change that. Ah, but you don't count. You already love me. That's the problem with like the universal love that you can do no wrong. It's like the person who goes out and gets rejected by girl after girl after girl after girl and is just distraught, and they're like, actually I'm okay because my mom loves me. That is no one. That is literally nobody. And as dark as it sounds, I think maybe the reason for that is important. It's not because the love is insignificant. It's not that someone adoring you is bad. It's that the pain is coming from an internal problem that you need to sort out, and part of the sorting out relies on feedback. It relies on honest feedback in the domain that you're having the battle. The less he sees it as just a curse, like a, you know, personality curse or something, and the more just the stage he's at now that he can improve, the better he'll be. It's so sweet and so nice, and I believe some of it is genuine love. There's just something about this that makes me wary at the same time. But the real love part here is forcing him into the difficult thing when she could easily just run away with him and, you know, pretend everything was fine and pretend he loved her. That actually is real strength and I think real consideration. Oh, starting life from a new world from zero again. This is the beginning of the show. That was the prologue. That, I don't know, the timing of that was great. That was sort of, okay, wow. I guess we're just laying it all out on the table. Why? Okay. So the fantasy continues? I don't think you know Amelia, dude. I think it's a personal challenge for him.
弱くて脆くてちっぽけだ。だから俺がまっすぐ歩けるように。
It's so amazing how Subaru's best moments often occur in his lowest points. I think the honesty is the common denominator there. Yes. Yeah.
一世一代のプロポーズを断られた相手に。
Sure, okay. I don't know, I think they belong together. But like not necessarily in a good way. Are you really okay with this? Are you really okay with this? If she's really okay with this, she's an angel. Or crazy. I don't know, it's a lot. Now you're just leading her on, man. Let's see. I'd love to see it. Wow, that was the prologue. That's insane. But there's something very critical about that. From zero. Yeah, and it's starting from zero, but the zero in this case is stronger than whatever number it was before. I think that once you get over the beating yourself up over having wasted time, because that's not something you can control anyway, it is what it is. Once you sort of develop any sort of process at all, you kind of can't get it wrong. But I think one of the key ingredients in that process is humility. It's perfectly fine, I mean, essential and inevitable that failure will happen. But I think the goal is to try to get through those iterations quickly. And the quicker you can accept where you're going wrong and just take that hit and eat it, but also to have faith in the long term and have faith in yourself and your ability to cope with it, the quicker you can get through these sort of rudimentary stages and not waste time going down false leads, and the faster you can start that positive feedback loop. Interestingly, I actually think this is Haikyuu, though they're very different shows. The way I understood the thesis of Haikyuu is focusing on the process beats focusing on the immediate victory, but having the right outlook trumps all. Because if you have the perfect outlook, that will inevitably lead you to the right processes. Because you're so focused on doing the right thing that you have no time for dishonesty and self-deception. They don't feel good. You're not afraid of the pain of stripping yourself down to the bone, to be okay sucking for a bit, to get that exact target that aligns with the feeling, with the heart you're bringing to things. So did Subaru have a total transformation where now he is capable of everything and great and not selfish? No, but this is actually surprisingly reassuring. Once again, him having a breakdown to a girl and crying is the most I like him.
じゃあもう一度言うぜ。エミリア陣営とクルシュ陣営の対等な条件での同盟。
Has he gotten any better at negotiating? Oh, well, the white whale has made whatever our economic plan is very difficult. Oh, my boy's fired up. What, eat your hand or something? Did he eat your wife? Okay, he already looks different. Yeah, all the iron and swords. Finance minister was visiting. Whatever his name was, we'll never learn it. It's a white whale locator from the future. He actually did go that route. That's hilarious. Prove me otherwise. Prove me wrong. And her instincts are never wrong. Never. Oh, so it's magic. Okay, that explains it. I have that too. I'm never wrong. That is fair. Since we're reading people's faults, let me tell you Crush's fault. And I mean a lot of their characters' faults, though I'm living in a glass house on this one. They just talk too much. If she was really as smart and tactical as she says she is, or implies she is by virtue of her criticism, she doesn't need to tell Subaru everything she's thinking. In fact, that weakens her negotiating standpoint. Oh, big whoop. What do you want, a medal? Oh. Who's that? What's his name again? Oh, he assembled all of them here. I have something for both of you. What about the girl that made us kiss her feet? Are they better than the leader of the Holy Knight of the Sword, or whoever it was that was unable to do anything against the White Whale? Who sucks at negotiating now? Good, we could use a victory right about now. Even this negotiation just going well is a victory. It's huge. It's a turning point. Of course you do. She reveals a lot. There is one tactical advantage, I think, to the way she speaks her thoughts out loud, is that she makes herself transparent without being weak. That builds trust. I'll never look at you the same way again. I will not be patronizing anything. Thanks. Oh, are these compliments? I never thought I'd see the day. At least she's balanced. At least she gives compliments and not just, nagging and criticizing. Who's a total worthless embarrassment now? Oh, this is the aftermath of that conversation. You are great. I now see in you a will to live, and I respect you. The way these people are so direct. That's a lot of gratitude. Wait, was she the one who got defeated by the whale? So the whale did eat your wife? Wow. We're so close. We were so close to avoiding that without an insult. Oh, they were already preparing an assault on the whale? Are we sure about that? Because it seemed to me like it was attracted by Subaru. Imagine being the one that delivers the final blow on the white whale. How you feeling, Subaru? This is doing anything for you? This one. I have a memory. Oh, we have an affinity. That actually is really cool. That's an experience I would love to have, but never will. I mean, if you're not already, dying over jealousy from Emilia, I don't think the ground dragon is what's gonna do it. What are you? Oh, we're all going. And if we fail, it's revenge on everyone who ever criticized us. This actually is credit to them, though. They have real skin in the game. That sort of counteracts what I was saying or thinking about Crush not seeing defeating the witch as reason itself to help Subaru. That makes it seem less like fear or avoidance and more like tactics and responsibility. And remember, you cannot lie. This is true. She already knows it's true. How do we avoid, people not existing anymore? Damn, they really hate this white whale, all of them. It ate all their wives. They're already so happy, like they're celebrating its defeat. It hasn't died yet. There's a potential pathway here where this is just the end of the kingdom. That's a long ass time. Okay, it's not glee. It's not relief. It's vengeance. This would be a great political victory for Crush too. Man, this whole country's been carrying this pain. No thought to their own defeat. This is the knight that Subaru was pretending to be, with no qualification and no strength, no character. And Mimi we know. Curious to see what she can do. I heard she's tough, though I think I could take her. I just thought of a different problem. God, this gets harder and harder the more I think about it. Okay, good for you. I don't care if you die. What is a satisfactory level of casualty for moving on in the game? Let's say 95% of these forces die, but Rem and Emilia are alive. Is that a success? And you can go all the way with that. Let's say only one person dies, and it's not Rem or Emilia or anybody we know on a first-name basis. Is that success? Because you could redo it. You could keep doing it until you get it perfectly. That's a difficult decision to make. There's a perfect run somewhere. It's the best ground dragon, and not at all slothful. What? That's not a ground dragon at all. I didn't even notice. Right, last time we ran into both. It's rough out there. It's cool how they're already treating Subaru with more respect, which takes a lot of strength. That's gonna catch up to Subaru all of a sudden. That like, oh yeah, we're actually going into the white whale. I was so focused on the negotiation part of it. I don't think you can ever deliberately get rid of the fear. I think at best that happens as a side effect of preparation and repetition. So we made it to the flugel tree and no one's disappeared from reality. The hell was that?
それで勝率がコンマでも上がるってんなら儲けもんだ。足りないとこだらけの俺はそうでもしなきゃ遅れが取り戻せねえ。
It's a funny way of putting it.
君は素敵です。
Doesn't it end up just being the same thing as greatness?
白芸の存在を知らせてくれる。
ああ、時間になったら鳴るようになってる。ぶっちゃけこれなしだと。
嘘ですよね。
何を言い出しますの？これが嘘ならおいはドギャンして。
Yeah, wait, wouldn't Crush have known he was lying about the media thing? I mean, I guess it's not totally a lie, it's just sort of a stretch, because he's talking about the time. Or maybe she just knew and trusted enough of what he was saying.
スバル君が嘘をついていることぐらいレムにはわかります。
You got the win thing too?
スバル君を丸ごと信じていますから。
Thank you, Rem. I'll do my best to live up to it.
やっぱりでっかい木を見上げると
Terrible day
テンショ
for
ン上がるな。
rain.
そうですね。
Terrible day for leaf condensation.
ごめんよりありがとうだよな。こういう時は。
どういたしましてですよ。
Thank you, Rem. Thank you for giving me the space just to breathe for a second and for saying something other than a criticism, not writing a manifesto on my personal failings. Moby Dick over here.
フェリスからちょこっと聞きました。奥さんの仇である白芸をずっと追いかけてきたって。
Your wife fought a whale and then your wife got eaten by a whale.
私は彼女から剣を奪い、剣聖の名を捨てさせ妻とした。ですが、剣は彼女を許してなどいなかった。
I guess it's a responsibility.
改めて感謝。
Interestingly, that sort of parallels Subaru's desire last episode to just run away, live a peaceful life.
足を向けることができましょう。
Oh, I think there's a good chance you'll get very close to your wife's resting place.
力を合わせてあのクジラ野郎をぶちのめしてやりましょう。俺も
Pound it up. Dap it up, bro. Dap it up, Wilhelm. I don't even know. I'm nervous for all of you. Things don't always go well in this world. Imagine Subaru's embarrassment if it just doesn't show up. There's no fog. You would see fog first. Oh no. Oh no. Please, I want the... I don't know. What do I want right now? If it comes, everyone dies. Oh, okay, I'm okay. Sometimes the embarrassment is more terrifying than the death. Is that even the whale? What the hell is that? Okay, it's the whale, but no fog. He's leading the charge. This could be a great political victory for Subaru. Amelia who? Battle against the white whale, but not now. Like, next time. And so ends the prologue of ReZero. It was a big one. What does it remind me of? Another show where I joked about it being the prologue, and it turns out it actually was the prologue. We started off from zero, but feels like we're much farther along than we've ever been. This is a really great episode for Subaru, I think. It actually left me feeling somewhat optimistic, and I'm going to enjoy that before the white whale comes in and annihilates everyone. I've gotten a bunch of comments in the series so far saying that Subaru is relatable. This, I think, is something that is probably relatable to everyone, where we sort of tell ourselves we're at a higher stage than we are, and it's not even really as painful as it seems it'll be. It actually feels kind of good to let go of the things that are not true. I think that it just gets grouped together with a lot of things that are incorrect, and that's what creates the resistance. And those are things like, if I'm not on this rung, if this isn't true, then it's hopeless or there's no chance. I think embedded in this idea somewhere is the idea of like your ability, your skill, your worth is a born thing, or like an element of your being, a stat that you were either born with or born without, as opposed to what it probably actually is, which is something that needs to be worked out and developed, where, I mean, just about anybody can develop the things that they need. Another one is just a general desire for self-esteem. But if you're really honest, if your self-esteem is reliant on something that's not real, you already kind of know that, and it's probably eating at you. It's not a strong pain, it's just like a nagging, constant pain. There's greater self-esteem to be had in going back to zero and actually doing things in the way that make you respect what you're doing, if that makes sense. At the extreme end of this is people who have given up on themselves and their own upward trajectory, and instead are aiming at others, trying to create a downward trajectory. If not by directly affecting their lives, which, you know, often you probably can't, you instead ideologically change the frame, manhandle the algorithm for evaluation so that this thing that actually probably is above you and you feel is above you is now just ranked lower. So that too, I think, creates some internal bitterness. Another is just not understanding time and the capability for change, extrapolating what one is into a straight line, not allowing for what are inevitably periods of exponential growth if you actually hit on something really good. It's a knowledge of the difficulty of having to face one's demons and approach challenges, which are very directly the things we've constructed these false friends in order to avoid. But it really isn't that difficult if taken one step at a time. And so it's sort of the honesty, the humility, the ability to see going backwards as going forwards, the being clear on what you're aiming for, which is like goodness and self-respect as opposed to, immediate outcome, trying to please everyone, etc., things that are outside of your hands anyway, that guides you through. So Subaru, like in his worst state, ends up somehow being in his best state, and it's really exciting to watch. And I'm going to hold on to that for as long as I can until we go into the next episode and all our hopes and dreams are destroyed once again.